fail trying to put our energies in the wrong class. So
Thank you. How about
I don't know. I feel like that's a really big question. And I feel like that's a good answer. But I just think that being future oriented, but also taking into account and being aware of the community that you're in, and knowing when to listen versus when to speak is probably the biggest advice I could give to anyone, any young person.
Advice taken to a young person. A little bit of like what Eric was saying in terms of not accepting the default and also just rethinking all of reality. Because the solution to the problems that you might be trying to solve may be categorized or labeled a different word that may not make you see them in a way that is a solution. And to kind of just always kind of question like the vocabulary and the way that we define certain things, and more directly related to what we're doing, it's like waste, and what is waste, and who defines waste, and like what categorizes waste. And if you look at this thing that we call waste that has been thrown away for so long, like if we look at it differently, what solutions could we actually create from it, and what problems could we actually solve from it? So yeah, don't accept the
Good question. I think having thought about it for 60 seconds, I would say recognize the power imbalances that exist due to racism, classism, sexism, all the isms, but don't ever let anyone tell you that you don't have power. Don't let anybody convince you that you're powerless and take away your agency. Ultimately, I told you a lot about grid and Soma, but to have a genuine moment, I grew up in multifamily affordable housing myself, and I grew up with a single mother and a grandmother who had to choose what bills they needed to pay in a month. And there were more months than one where we were in the dark, and there are kids that live that shame in silence still today. So those kids can become program directors at Grid Alternatives, or implement innovative food systems like Kijani Grows, or solve waste, or redefine what waste even is. So always recognize the systems you're working in, but always try to break out of them at the same time.